Well, it's late October and I am on the Cross River for my first boundary water trip of the year. It's unseasonably warm right now. It's probably in the upper 50s, but that's probably going to change soon. It's forecasted for thunderstorms tonight and potentially even snow in the next couple of days. We're going to hurry up and get our base camp set up so we can hunker down for the weather to come. Should be a fun one. First portage of 2 today to get to my base camp lake. I can already see that the clouds are starting to get darker. The sun's already starting to set, so I gotta pick it up. Alright, first one's done. That was the longest one of today and probably of the trip, but it is starting to rain, so I'm gonna have to put the big camera away for now. Got my butt wet. It's getting dark really quick. Part of it's these rain clouds, but sunset is not too far. It's just ominous. Coming up on the last port, I'm going to try to knock this out as fast as I can. I don't like to try my chances on thunderstorms on the water. Jeez. Oh, a little too much water in there. Whoa. What kind of poop is that? Can you see that? That is so interesting. That's either got to be a wolf scat or even maybe like a lynx. Wonder what I scared away clunking my way in here. Here's our destination lake. Well, now that I've scared away every single creature around here, let's go find Cam. It looks like I'm sharing this bay with a beaver. We may not be happy about that. Wait for it. Beavers are pretty territorial. If you're found in their area, they're going to try to scare you off by slapping their tail on the water. It's a genius tactic though, because out here where it's so quiet, it almost sounds like a shotgun's going off. Oh, there's 2 beavers here. There's the lodge. That may have been what passed us earlier, but it's definitely growing and getting darker. So I gotta get to camp quick. It's much better access than I thought I was gonna have. Gorgeous view. Decent fire grade area. I'm so hungry, but gotta find some firewood. That's a good amount of kindling. Problem with this kind of wood is that it burns through really quick. So I want to see if I can find something a little thicker that's going to last longer, like kind of wrist width. That should definitely be enough for me to at least cook dinner. I'm honestly amazed how much this camera's picking up. It's pretty dark out. Starting to get a headache. I get some water in me. Look at this little kitchen area we got. This is luxury. The Boundary Waters requires bear safe containers approved by the Intra-Agency Grizzly Bear Committee. That's a new rule as of this spring. For dinner tonight, I've got a classic for the first night at camp. And it looks like my bag definitely started leaking. Salt, pepper, garlic, and a little bit of steak seasoning. My mouth is watering right now. Now for these asparagus dudes, lemon pepper seasoning, and this one's a red pepper flake, but it's red striped pepper from a garden. Really good stuff. Now that is a meal. Put some dry clothes on and got the fire kindled up again. How about that for a camp meal, right? Had to show off a little bit with the grill marks. Not too bad. Fantastic. Try some of this asparagus. And I've seen people do this, you know, on the first day. You freeze a steak and you bring it along and have it on the first night. I've never done that before, so I'm gonna stop watching me eating. Oh man, that was very, very good. Best camping meal I've ever had. Just checking the SATCOM device for what the weather's looking like. Looks like we still have a chance of rain tonight at 9 p.m. It's currently 7. It's supposed to go until 1 a.m. and then we have a 90% chance of rain tomorrow. It's going to be pretty cloudy. Be nice to set up the tarp just to have something in case it rains. I can never remember how to do this knot. It needs to not have the weight on the loop. There we go, like that. What did I do? I don't even remember what I did. I am no expert tarpist. I'm very much a beginner, but trying my best. I'm working on it. It's not looking too bad so far. Nice little home base in case it starts to downpour. I'm gonna have to adjust it a little bit so it's not gonna drop right down on my door, but probably just gonna get the rest of the camp chores done and then hit the hay. I'm pretty tired and it's getting pretty late. Yeah, we'll see what the weather does tomorrow. It's supposed to rain. The weather's not too bad. We'll get some day tripping in. Maybe see if we can look for a moose. I still have not seen a moose in real life. Well, it didn't take long after I got the tarp up that the rain came in. And the grade right here is bringing more water down. The stuff I was trying to dry is totally soaked. I have to get a ridge line up. My main concern is that I have water dripping down into my tent, and I'm afraid it's going to go underneath the tent and start soaking up from the bottom. Try to get everything packed up into my portage pack so that it at least stays dry underneath the tarp, and then maybe try to adjust the tarp before I hop in and go to bed. Okay, I got intense for a second. My dry clothes are a little wet, but we're doing okay. It's not even from the lake. Just as I laid down, I can hear winds moving through the trees. It's very eerie. I was taking note of how silent it was. There's no crickets, no frogs, no wind. But as you can hear, it's changing out there.
Morning. Last night was a learning curve in more ways than one. It rained quite a bit last night, so much so that it was seeping through the rainfly in my tent. So I had to do some adjusting with the tarp to see if I could keep myself dry. A lot of the stuff in here is wet. Probably didn't actually get to sleep until after 4 a.m. But we made it. I'm just cozy. I don't want to move. I'm going to stay right where I am. Wait for this rain to pass, because everything's already just so wet.
That's a good amount of water. Found my microfiber cloth on the ground. I won't be using that on the lens. This was my little scrubber last night. Worked pretty good. That's just what I needed after last night. The thing that makes fall camping pretty brutal is not just the cold, but it's the hovering above freezing and then the rain. Not to mention the water temperature of the lakes is pretty cold at this time of year. Weather in the fall up here in northern Minnesota can be really unpredictable. Do I just look so tired, like all the happiness is gone from me? I actually have a little bit of service, and I got a text from V and actually some other friends in Grand Marais saying, "Are you okay? The weather's been super bad." Apparently they even lost some power. Sounds like they're getting some pretty brutal conditions out there, but I wonder if they're just getting what I got last night. For now, it's pretty serene actually. So oddly enough, all these gusts of wind that you're hearing, they're not very surface level. It's not affecting the lake too much. There's not a lot of chop or anything going on. It seems to be very high-end winds. These clouds are moving really fast. Notice how the water is ripply here and calm right there? That's because the wind's coming from the northeast. The trees are shielding the water there, so it's very calm. So if you ever need to navigate some pretty choppy water and wind, try to go to the lee side of the trees like that. I wish I had a CCS tarp. Rest in peace to Dan Cook. So the temperature right now is hovering about 40 degrees. Feels more like mid-30s because of the wind. But because a dump in the water could prove fatal due to hypothermia, I have an emergency kit in my pack that has an extra set of clothing, my down jacket, my fleece, and I also have fire making equipment. I have my saw, I have my axe, and I also have a lighter, which I'm going to keep in my PFD so that it's with me at all times. I also have my satellite communications device should I need to call SOS. These are really important considerations you need to make when you are canoeing in cold weather. It doesn't take just dumping into the water to drown. It could be just hypothermia and not being able to recover yourself. So make sure that you're taking the precautions that you need. I'm gonna troll while I explore this lake a little bit. Got one bite so far from trolling. I think they spit it right out though. My legs and my feet are a little cold because my pants, my socks, everything got really wet yesterday. And with the colder temperatures, even hanging them up did pretty much nothing. Here's the inlet from Cross Bay Lake. Must be some beaver dam activity up there. See some beaver chew. Looks like this port is a little further inlet right there, and then the portage is just to the west of it. Yeah, I think we'll venture down this area and just check it out for a little bit. It's basically like a river, so the wind shouldn't be affecting it too much. It looks pretty calm. Just getting on Cross Bay Lake. Looks more like a river though. Smallest hint of sun. Like a pretty nice day over there. That is the direction the wind is coming from, so keep my fingers crossed. The other way does not look friendly. Did not notice that beaver. Startled me. Oh man, I would love a little bit of sun right now. Made it to the end of Cross Bay Lake. No sign of any wildlife. It's kind of been a theme on this trip. It's almost like I'm the only living creature out here. Haven't seen any humans or anything other than beavers. But yeah, haven't even really heard birds chirp or anything. I think I'm ready to start heading back to camp. This is definitely my favorite part of Cross Bay Lake. Rocky, rugged, narrow, and this rock formation is unbelievable. I needed to get my legs going, man. I'm starting to shiver. From the knees down. Numb. Made it back to camp. Came back with a few extra battle scars, some unforeseen rocks. And this is a North Star Pearl and IXP. So the IXP is their more durable layup. This is supposed to be the Chestnut Pal, which if you're a Bill Mason fan, you may know that canoe, his red canoe that he had. That was a Chestnut Pal. This is the same exact hull shape, except they took the recurve stems out and made it a composite layup. Really nice boat. I love it so far. I'm gonna turn off my location share now that I'm back at camp. And there's blue skies appearing everywhere. Still haven't had a lick of it myself, but it's looking promising. It'd be so nice if I got a little bit of clear skies. Even just a poke of sun would be really nice. Stomach's always ruining the audio. Sun. Oh, so nice. That's more like it. Well, this was not in the forecast at all, but I'll take whatever it'll give me. Warming up my legs in the sleeping bag here for a little bit, and I'm gonna have an instant ramen appetizer in bed. Not too shabby. Really enjoying laying here. My feet are still cold though. Just trying to warm them up a little bit. Dinner tonight's gonna be Camp Jambalaya. Got some andouille sausage, Southwest rice and beans, some cheese and green onions. This is only my second wilderness canoeing trip. My first two trips, both in shoulder seasons and both solo. It wasn't until a year and a half ago that I experienced what true wilderness is like. Ever since that trip in May, I just can't seem to get this place out of my head. There's just something about seeing the planet for how it's been for billions of years before all of this industry and corporate interest took over the planet. Every single year the population grows and cities get bigger and these types of places become more and more rare, which makes it even more important that we cherish them and take care of them. Yes, sir. Camp Jambalaya. Had this my first trip in the Boundary Waters. It was the last night and I was just so beat. And this totally hit the spot. Look at how clear it is, you guys. I never would have thought with the weather we've been having that it would be clear tonight. I'll get some pictures for you guys so you can see a little bit better what I'm talking about. I just had to show you in real time. Let's go take a look at the Milky Way. That's the epicenter of our home galaxy right there. Incredible band. Sagittarius star cloud. There's Ursa Major. Ursa Major is the big bear. Here's the cup of the Dipper. That square. And the handle. The Little Dipper is right there. There's the square of the cup, and then there's the handle. Little Dipper, Big Dipper. The tip of the Little Dipper's handle, right there, that's Polaris, the North Star. Now, a way you can always tell which way north is, if you see the Big Dipper, you're looking in the right direction. That's just about north. If you take the last two stars, draw a line pointing this way, the first bright star you see is Polaris. That's how you can always tell where north is. Cassiopeia, that W-shaped constellation, one of my favorites. Sitting right on a faint band of the Milky Way. The core of the Milky Way galaxy on a northern Minnesota lake. What more could you ask for?
Just before sunrise on day 3. It's definitely a cold one. I tossed and turned a lot last night. Just gonna make some hot coffee to warm myself up, break camp, and get out of here before the wind gets too bad. Happy Halloween.
And some really saturated stratus clouds behind me. I'm not really sure what that means, but I should probably get out of here. Like it's moving pretty fast too. In 2007, there was a massive wildfire that started right here on Ham Lake. Ended up burning for nearly 2 weeks. Once it was all said and done, it burned over 76,000 acres. And it all started right here. Burned all along the Gunflint Trail and even beyond to Quetico in Ontario, Canada. This is what a forest looks like after about 15 years of regrowth. It's very fascinating. So you can see right here, entry point 50, Cross Bay Lake. This is Ham Lake, just above the entry point here. And right here is where the Narrows is. And this brown hash boundary is where the Ham Lake fire burned. This boundary keeps going. It goes past this map north. And this wildfire, from what I understand, started from a campsite that was right here. A lot of wildfires are caused by humans, and this is one glaring example of that. You can see the beavers are making use of the dead wood. There's one right in front of me towing a log over. I've never been that close to a beaver. I've also never actually seen a beaver working on its lodge. You can tell they're not too happy I'm here. We'll get out of here. Take care, guys. Hope you have a good winter. I don't remember this tree being here. Coming up on our last port now. It's been a pretty short trip, but still very sweet nonetheless. Only my second Boundary Waters trip ever, and my first time having a trip in the fall. Pretty late in the season, but I had to sneak one in this year, and I'm really glad that I did. Some pretty crazy weather, lots of wind, lots of rain. All my stuff got soaked, things weren't looking too good. And then that night sky, absolutely amazing. Not much wildlife, besides the occasional waterfowl, and lots of beavers. Can't wait for next year's canoeing season. It's time to get ready for these lakes to freeze up and do some ice fishing this year, and maybe even try winter camping, something I've never done before. Thanks for coming along with me, and keep looking up. Can't wait for a hot shower. We did it.